Hi everyone, welcome to this slow recovery flow with me, Sinead Brophy of Go With The Flow Coaching. What you're going to need for today is just a mat, a pillow, and maybe a blanket, kind of warm socks, anything like that, just to make sure that you're nice and comfortable. We're going to be doing a lot of passive stretches, deep breathing, just totally unwinding and relaxing the body with some lovely total body stretches. What we're going to do, we'll start by just lying onto the ground. Again, you can have that pillow in underneath your head for a little bit of support. And if you want to have socks on, have a blanket lying over you as well. Two options here. You can have the knees bent with the knees pointing up towards the ceiling, feet flat on the ground, or if it's more comfortable, you can have the legs laid straight, hands to the side. So again, just choose whichever feels most comfortable for you. And we're just going to start by closing our eyes and taking slow, steady breaths. Breathing in. And then breathing out. Breathing in. And then breathing out. Just going through this breath cycle in your own time. Just noticing where the breath is going to. Is it just your chest that's rising? Or are you able to bring that breath down into the diaphragm? And let the stomach and ribcage relax and expand as you breathe in. Just maybe bring some awareness back into our legs and into our arms. And if your knees are bent at the moment, I'm just going to get you to straighten those legs down to the end of your mat. We're going to take a deep breath in, interlace those fingers and reach the hands up overhead. You're going to walk the feet out to the right hand side of your bottom mat and then walk your hands out to the outside of your right side of the mat. We're just getting a nice big stretch into the left hand side. We're going to breathe in and then breathe out. Imagine we're getting pulled in two different directions. Breathing in and breathing out. We're going to breathe in one more time. And then breathe out. We're going to come back in towards the center and bring the hands down by our side. We're going to interlace the fingers the other way now. Breath in, reach them up overhead. And then when we exhale, we're going to bring the soles of our feet out to the left hand side of our mat and just reach out with our hands to the top of the left hand side of our mat. Deep breath in. Feel the ribcage expand and breathe out. Imagine we're lengthening and being stretched from one end of the mat to the other. Breathing in and breathing out. Feeling that stretch, elongation. And last time, breathing in. And then breathing out. Walking those hands back in towards the center, the legs back in towards the center, just releasing those hands down the side of the mat in a floor angel. You're going to bring the soles of the feet back onto the mat. And we're just going to go for a few pelvic tilts with our breath. So what we're going to do is we're going to breathe in, tilt the pelvis forward, soft tummy. So you can have the hands down to the side, or you can keep them in that floor angel. Again, just what feels comfortable for you and what feels like a nice stretch. When we breathe out, we're going to tilt the tailbone back, pelvis back, just gently pushing the lower back into the ground. Gentle squeeze of the glutes. Breathing in. Soft tummy, relax that pelvic floor, relax the rib cage. And then breathe out. Gentle lift through the pelvic floor as we're tilting back. Breathing in. Soft tummy, soft pelvic floor, soft rib cage. And then breathe out. Let's tilt back. Keeping that back just very gently in contact with the ground. We're going to drop the knees out towards the left-hand side. You can let that right hip lift up off the mat. We're going to hold here for a breath or two. Taking another inhale here. And then breathing out, bringing those legs back in towards the center. Breathing in. And then breathing out, dropping the legs out towards the other side. Again, you can let that left hip come up off the mat. If it's comfortable for you, you can just keep the eyes closed and just really focus on what's happening with your rib cage and your stomach as you breathe in and then breathe out. Taking one more inhale here. And then exhaling. Bring the feet flat onto the mat again, knees pointing up towards the ceiling. We're going to reach the right hand straight up towards the ceiling. We're going to take the left hand, bring it either to the tricep or the forearm, and we're just going to hug that arm into our chest. So we should get a nice deep stretch into the back of maybe my right shoulder and my right tricep, and maybe in between the shoulder blades. As I breathe in now, I'm trying to imagine that the rib cage is expanding at the top of my spine. So I feel it just gently expand and round into the mat. And then breathe out, just feel that flatten and soften. Breathing in. And then breathing out. Breathing in. And then breathing out. One more time, deep breath in. And deep breath out. We're going to release that right hand. Bring our left hand up towards the ceiling. Exhale then, taking that right hand to our tricep or our forearm. Breathing in. Feel the muscles stretch and expand at the back of the rib cage. Breathing out. Breathing in. And breathing out. Breathing in. And then breathing out. Let's release that arm. We're going to hug our right knee in towards our chest while we also straighten that left leg. So the left leg straightens, the right knee comes in towards the chest, and we're going to interlace those fingers behind the knee, first option, or on top of the shin, second option. So just see what feels more comfortable for your knee and for your hip. Take a breath here. On the exhale, try and point the heel away and pull those toes towards your shin. Gently tuck the tailbone under so that we're gently pushing our lower back into the mat. So just be active in this pose. Flex that right foot as well. Deep breath in, and then breathe out. Left hand comes outside the right knee, right hand comes out towards the side. You can relax the feet if you want, and just roll out to the side. If you need a pillow right in underneath this knee, please grab it and just place it underneath. But you're happy just to get that deep stretch and a bit of a twist, you can just stay here. You're staying here for a few breaths. Breathing in and breathing out. Taking one more deep breath in here. And then as you exhale, let's roll back. Bring both feet onto the flat on the mat. And then just reposition the hips if you need to. And we're going to do the same on the other side. Let's straighten that right leg out. And we're going to hug that left knee in towards our chest. Again, you can just keep the feet soft here. Hands can be on top of that shin bone or behind the knee. Really just focus on the breathing. Notice where the breath moves around the torso. Taking a breath in again. And then as we exhale, let's point that right heel away from us. Try and pull those right toes in towards our shin. And again, you can flex that left foot as well. So the left toes in towards the left shin, right toes in towards the right shin. Again, we might just feel that lengthening of our body. We might just feel the engagement of our core, slight tuck under of that tailbone. Our back is just very gently pushing into the ground. I could almost take these hands away if I wanted to, but I'm not. Well, those hands are really resting on that shin. Breath in. Breath out. The hand comes to the outside of that right knee. And just dropping out towards the side. Reaching that left hand out towards the left hand side. Again, if you don't feel comfortable in this position, you can place a bolster if you have one, or a few pillows underneath that left knee just to feel nice and supported. You can let the feet relax here as well. Making sure that the jaw is relaxed. And again, just noticing if the breath feels different in this twisted position. Maybe we're more aware of the rib cage moving, or maybe it feels a little bit more constricted. Just notice where the breath goes. Trying to direct that breath into any points of tension, wherever that might be. Taking a breath in. Breathing out. Let's bring the knee and the hip back down onto the mat. The foot is flat. Both feet flat on the mat. You just have a gentle rock side to side if that feels a little bit better, just to release out the hips, release out the pelvis, release out the lower back. We're going to roll over onto our side and we're just going to push up to come into a quadruped position. So into a tabletop or bird dog, whichever way you refer to it. We're just going to go for some very slow segmental glute bridges. Not glute bridges, cat cows. So with the segmental cat cows, it's like a segmental glute bridge, but it's just facing in reverse. And what we're looking to do is we're going to start by tucking the tailbone under. So the arms are straight, our shoulders are in underneath. Our hands are in underneath our shoulders. And then we're just going to round through the tailbone, pulling up through the mid back, pulling up through the upper back, and tuck the chin. And then we're going to come back the way we came. We're going to tuck the tailbone, tip it up towards the ceiling, the lower back drops down, my belly button drops down towards the mat. My chest drops down and my chin comes up. And then I'm going to do the same again. Tuck the tailbone under. Round through the back. Round through the upper back. Tuck the chin. One more time. Tailbone tips up. Chest drops down. Chin drops up. And then I'm going to rock the hips out towards the side, pushing back into a child's pose. And then reaching around to get a stretch. Hips out. Sink back. Reach out to the side. Just a couple of circles one direction. And then we'll change a couple of circles the other direction. So just moving whatever way feels good here. Just getting a stretch through the rib cage into the lower back. Getting a nice big stretch. And then what we're going to do is we're going to come back in towards the center. And we're just going to focus on taking 2 slow, deep breaths here. So I just want you to connect in again with this rib cage in this position. Breathing in. And then breathing out. See how my stomach moves. Breathing in. Let that stomach relax and then breathe out. Breathing in. I'm going to reach that right leg out towards the side. My toes are pointing forward. I know it's hard to see with this angle, but my foot is flat on the ground. My toes are pointing forward. I'm just going to keep the back flat as I sink the hips back and then come forward. So again, for some of us who may only be able to move an inch or two, that's fine. Sink the hips back and then come forward. Sink the hips back, breathe in and then come forward. Breathe in. And then let's just relax here. So if you can, try and get the heel and hips just right next to each other, just on top of each other. You can even bring the forearms down onto the mat and rest that forehead down. If this feels a little bit uncomfortable on your knee or your hip, you might want to be a little bit further forward like this. You get a stretch in that position. So just see what feels good for you and your hip. Even if you're in between, you can place that pillow on the back of the left heel and just try and relax here. Let the head go soft as well, so the neck is relaxed and long. Maybe you're giving a wiggle side to side. Maybe you're resting that forehead down on the mat. Again, whichever feels good for us and gives us the best stretch and best form of relaxation. I'm going to slowly come out of that and I'm going to get you guys to change over onto the side. I'm just going to change positions so you guys can see. So we're here, my left leg's out to the side now. Take a breath in and push the hips back. Breathing in and then breathing out. Come forward. Breathe in and then breathe out. Come forward. Breath in. And then breathe out. Last time, breathing in. Again, your elbows can just drop straight in here. You can just stay in the static position. If you can bring the hips down towards the heel, so that the heels and hips are stacked on top of each other, or if you need to, just placing that pillow in between the hips and the heel for a little bit more support. And just let that forehead relax down, either resting on the mat or just hanging loose, letting the mouth relax. Make sure we're not clenching the jaw. Breathing in nice and steady. Breathing out. Just feeling that tension melt away. What we're going to do is just bring ourselves forward. We're going to place the pillow at the top of the mat. And what we're going to do is a pec stretch. There's a couple of different options here. So we're going to bring the hand out to the side. We're going to lie flat down. If you need to, you can be a little bit more on your front like this. If it's quite comfortable, you can actually come into a quad stretch as well. So again, it's just going to be different for different people. I don't want you to force this. So this additional quad stretch is, as I said, additional, just if you are able to go into that deeper stretch. I'm going to breathe in and then breathe out. And you're almost letting the weight of that top shoulder roll back with the foot. Trying to get a stretch through the front for me. It's of my left quad and up my right shoulder. I'm letting my jaw relax. I'm just trying to just sink into this pose. Maybe allowing my left foot and left hand to almost reach down towards the mat behind me. I'm going to hold for just maybe 2 more breaths here. So deep breath in. And then breathing out. Deep breath in. And then as we breathe out, we're going to release that leg. If you were holding the quad stretch, we're just going to roll over onto the other side. So you're going to shimmy over to the other side of the mat, reach that left hand out, and look towards the right. You're going to bend that right knee. We're going to roll over onto the shoulder. And again, you can just go for whatever depth is comfortable. If you're quite far back like I am here, I'm going to get you to take that right foot in your right hand. And we're just going to let that weight of that right shoulder and foot just bring us deeper into that pec stretch. Try and see if you can keep your knee in line with the hip. And just see if that changes the stretch on your quad at all. We're going to take 1 more deep breath in. And then breathing out, we're going to roll forward back onto our torso. What we're going to do is we're just going to push up. We're going to come into a puppy tricep pose. Again, I know we've done this one before, but it's just a fantastic stretch, especially for all of those rowing exercises we've been doing if you are in my online program. But we're just going to bring the hands together behind our head, drop the chest down. Feel the rib cage expand. And then breathe out, just try and drop that chest down a little bit more. Breathing in. And then breathing out. Let the jaw go soft. We're going to do this 2 more times. Last one. We're going to bring the hands and the forearms back onto the mat. We're going to walk our hands back and drop our hips down. Let the forehead rest on the ground. The palms can face up towards the ceiling or down towards the mat, whichever feels best for you. And we're just going to relax in this child's pose, just for a few more breaths. Trying to slow the breath down even a bit more. Especially the exhale. Go for as long as you can. And then feel that ribcage expand all the way down your back. And then just relax and breathe normally, whatever that is for you, just for the last minute. Just taking an inhale and just start to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Maybe rolling the shoulders a little bit. Couple of circles one direction, and then a couple of circles the other direction. We're going to walk those hands back up, so we're going to come into a kneeling position. We're going to reach those hands up overhead, interlace the fingers. Exhale, push up, and reach over towards the left hand side. We're going to release that. Breath in, hands up overhead, interlace the fingers the opposite way, reach those hands up towards the ceiling, and then exhale, reach over towards the right. And then we're just going to release that. Let the hands come down to our side, and then we're done. Thank you very much for joining me for the slow recovery flow. I hope you are nice and relaxed.